What's up? Welcome back to an all new Planty video. My name is Shannon and this is Planted 386. If this is your first time, hello, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking and stopping by. I hope you will consider sticking around and subscribing and hanging out with us. If you're returning, thank you guys so much for being here. I tell you week after week, but I appreciate you so much and I am so grateful for this little Planty community. I love chatting with you guys in the comments down below, you know that. So if you ever want to chat, drop me a line down below. I always answer comments. I pride myself on that because that's kind of the whole point for me is being able to talk plants. So if you drop me a line, I will definitely respond. I just love it. I just love it here so much. So this week, you guys, we are getting back into favorites, another favorites video. If you've been around, you know these are my absolute favorite videos to do because it just gives me an opportunity to kind of showcase some of the plants in my collection that are doing really well and thriving. And I guess it kind of gives you all an idea of, you know, what I have outside of the houseplant tour and things like that, because things are always growing, changing, and evolving, as I always say. So I have a bunch of them here. I think I have about 20 plants. We missed last month. Don't judge me. I'm just excited to be doing this. So a lot has been going on. We've had a lot of growth. We have a few newer things that I'm excited to share with you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first plant that I'm gonna share with you guys is this one right here. We're just gonna kind of grab them. I have them scattered about, but this is something John actually picked out the last time we went plant shopping together. And this is Polynesian ivy. I know that this can be considered an invasive plant, but I am growing it indoors and I'm growing it in this little pot in a cabinet setting. So I've never tried anything quite like this. I have tried traditional English ivy in the past and it didn't go over so well. So I am curious to give this guy a go. I got him back in June, actually, the 1st of June. So we've had him for a little while now, and what I'm finding is he's kind of a slower to grow sort of situation. Like it's not, I thought this was gonna pop off and take off and grow like a weed, but it's really not been like that in my experience. It's actually pretty slow. It could just be the way that I'm growing it. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't typically grow things like this, so it's definitely new to me. But what I loved about it is the beautiful leaves, the beautiful foliage. It's got quite lovely like markings on it, and oops, there went a leaf. And so yeah, I'm just interested to see where this goes. I am currently growing it in the cabinet right here where the Peperomia is, and so far so good. It seems to like it there. I've thought about putting it into ambient because, to be honest with you, this cabinet doesn't hold a ton of humidity, but it just hasn't happened yet. I haven't done that. It seems to be liking the pink lights. Some things I notice grow really well under those pink lights, Hoya, cacti, and this guy seems to really like it. So yeah, I just have a little piece of, what is this? Labradite in there for good luck, and so far so good. I've just really been enjoying kind of monitoring the situation and seeing how it goes. I will put in B-roll of all of these also as we go along, so you can kind of see where they're growing and the conditions that they're in. If you missed the houseplant tour, we just wrapped up the houseplant tour. There's 4 different parts to it. And so I will link them down below in the description box for you guys if you're curious, because you can also see, well, the whole collection, but just where things are growing. I have moved things around since then. I'm always moving things around, but it'll give you a general idea if you're new here as to what I have and things like that. But I will definitely link all of that below in the description box, which I always fill out, guys. Check it out. Okay, so the next one is my Easter cactus, guys, and I have just been enjoying how much this has been loving where it's at. It seems to really be growing. I don't know, okay, let me see if I have a date on here. Do I have a date of when I got this? Sometimes I put it, sometimes I don't. I do not. I've had this for a little while now, and I think I got it at a big box store in like some cute little decorative pot. But the reason that I picked it up is because I didn't have an Easter cactus in my stash. I only had Thanksgiving and Christmas. So what really got me on this is it had, at the time, you know, when they bring them in, they're always in bloom. It had the most beautiful white flowers. And all of my other cactus are like fuchsia and things like that. So I really loved the flowers that this had on it, and it was quite small, it was quite tiny. So I ended up putting it in this super cool disco planter, which I love. I think I picked these up at Michael's, and I believe I paid around $8 or something for them. It really was pretty inexpensive. And we kind of went through it, which is weird because I don't typically have issues growing the holiday cactuses. Like, they typically grow like weeds for me, but this is the only one that I am growing indoors. I do have like some cuttings of Christmas, I think, inside, but all of my main holiday cactuses are outside. And so growing this inside, in the beginning, it didn't seem to love it. I'm not sure if I was underwatering, to be honest with you, or overwatering, because it just started to get mushy and sort of like fall apart. I don't know what I'm doing right. I don't know if maybe it just wasn't very well rooted and was trying to establish itself. I'm not sure. All I know is in the past few months, I have been watching this guy explode, which is so exciting. Last year, it did not bloom for me. So this Easter will be the second year that I've had it, and I'm hoping to get some blooms this year. I must say, this is my favorite, I think, of all of the holiday cactus, because I love the little paddle-shaped leaves, if you will. And I just think she looks so charming in this pot. I am really big into styling my plants. So if you're new here, I do have an older video of some of my favorite pots in my collection and things like that. I should maybe do a styling video. Would you guys be interested in that? Because it's something that I really do enjoy, is like taking the time to find just the right pot for said plant. And I'm just really loving this simplistic, you know, holiday cactus in this really jazzy planter. I don't know, I just really like that. And yeah, it's growing in the window over here behind you, and she seems to really love it. Look how cute these little baby ones are coming in. So cute. Looks like there's a little spider web in there. And it looks like there's this crunchy piece here. I could have taken off before the video, but we'll get rid of that. I have a pot over there where I put all the crunchy bits. And so, yeah, I'm just excited, guys. I'm excited to see where this goes. We've gone on probably way too long about an Easter cactus, but I do love jungle cacti and things like that. So she's just really, really cute. I really love her. And if you don't have Easter cactus, I highly recommend. It's such a joy to watch grow. All right, next is, I picked up recently, in my last video I talked about it, but I went to, where was I? Walmart. Did I feature these in the video? I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I can't remember now. I'm suddenly drawing a blank. Either way, you know how Costa has been putting out all of those like rare cacti or whatever? Well, months ago when they first dropped them, I picked up the snowman cactus. There's like a piece of hair here. It's driving me crazy. I picked up a snowman cactus. I think that's what they're calling it. And of all of them, that was the one that really spoke to me, that I was really after. And so far, so good. It's been doing really well. It wasn't very well rooted when I brought it home, but I just put it into a little pot. It's growing up in the little cactus. I call it the cactus cabinet because the cactus really seem to love it up there. And yeah, so far so good. It's put out a second little ball. So super cute. And recently, I went back and they dropped another round. So this one here, they're calling it velvet skin cactus. I will try to make sure I have the scientific name on the screen for you. But I am quite loving this, you guys. I don't have anything like this in my collection. I think he's super cool. I love the texture on the cactus, and I'm really curious to see how this grows. All of these cactus are, you know, new to me. I'm not familiar with them, so should be interesting. There's really not a whole lot to note just yet because I did just bring him home. I got him on the 20th of August, so he's very new to me. And so yeah, I know it's maybe probably too soon to put him in a favorites, but I've really been enjoying peeking in the cabinet and looking at them, and I was excited to find them. So it is a favorite this month. Whether I've had him long or not, it is a favorite. Yeah, I just think he's really cool. He kind of reminds me of like a sea urchin or something like that. And so yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. And then the other one is what they're calling variegated moon cactus. I know that that's not the technical name, so I will make sure I have it on the screen. But I loved this variegation. I liked that there was pretty much an equal amount of variegation to, you know, regular non-variegation. So I feel like it's a good balance for the plant overall. And yeah, again, I got them on the same day. I'm super excited about it. This little pot is a terracotta that my niece painted for me. So these, I have a few of them and they're pretty special to me. So that's kind of what the pot's all about. And I thought that they looked cute together. So yeah, that's another fun idea. If you have grandchildren or nieces and nephews, have them paint you one of your terracotta pots. It's a fun little activity that keeps them busy and occupied. And it's also a nice little keepsake to have in your stash. But yeah, that is this one. Super cute. Like I said, not much to write home about yet, but hopefully we'll have an update later on and I will be able to show you this like amazing, you know, growth or something. Okay, next is, I'm trying to move through them relatively quickly just because we have so many to get through this month and I don't want it to be like a forever video. But next is my Hoya Nova Ghost, guys. Hoya Nova Ghost. So this is an interesting scenario. I have quite the story when it comes to Nova Ghost. So I don't know if you guys are even going to be able to see in there, but down in there is a cutting. It's just 2 leaves, and I got it from Plant Proper off of Palm Street on September the 27th of 24. I got it as a birthday gift to myself. Last year, okay, it's almost been a year and this plant has done absolutely nothing. I'm starting to think that there's absolutely no node. Now I know some of you I've mentioned this a couple times on the channel, told me that this one is relatively slow to grow and that it likes to kind of, you know, produce its roots first before giving you anything else. So I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I waited. I was like, okay, was on my wish list, this specific Hoya. I wanted it for a long time. I think it is so beautiful. And nothing, month after month, nothing. I changed up conditions. I repotted. Like I did all the things. I left it alone. I mean, it's been a year, guys, and not even a single leaf. So a friend of mine here locally was looking to get rid of some of her mother plants, and I asked her if she had Nova Ghost, and she said yes. So I got this actually from one of the plant swaps that I host locally, and when I got it, I decided to, I'm trying to remember what it even looked like when I first got it, but I decided to chop it because I have another pot with a bunch of cuttings. I was hoping to get, I think it was just like one vine, and I was kind of hoping to get a fuller pot. So I took some cuttings. I didn't chop the whole thing entirely. I think I actually just chopped it down to this like cluster here. Just took a few cuttings. I think I have like maybe 4 or 5 growing in that cabinet. And same thing, guys, nothing has happened with these cuttings. They're just, I don't know what they're doing. They're just taking their time, I guess. So let me know your experience with Nova Ghost if you have this plant. All I know is the mother plant, after I cut it, it immediately, well, not immediately, it maybe took a month or so, but it produced a vine. And what you're seeing wrapped around is the vine that it produced. And so far, everything above this chunk, which isn't much, but it's a nice solid tendril, has come from after chopping it, which is something I've noticed with Hoya. If you have reached a point with Hoya of stagnation and you're no longer getting growth and you would like to see more growth, try propagating, because I have seen amazing results just by propping my Hoyas, and they seem to really enjoy it, or it kicks off growth anyway. But I am just excited to have a semi-trellis. If you've also been around, I'm not one to trellis every single Hoya that I have. To be honest, I kind of like them growing sort of wild and chaotic. I like that. But this one, it was just shooting out this tendril and it was going everywhere. So I just did this makeshift. This isn't even a real trellis. I just kind of find things that are circular that I have around in my crafting stash and I use them as trellises. So that's what this is. I think this is like a little sign from the Dollar Tree. But yeah, I'm curious to see if it continues to grow on the trellis or if it just prefers to grow wild. That's another thing I've noticed with Hoya, is some of them, when I wrap them, they will halt. They will immediately halt growth and the vine will just fizzle out. So I'm taking a little bit of a risk. I just recently wrapped this. I'm hoping that it pays off and we get a nice full trellis. But anyway, I think she's so beautiful. This is such a beautiful, like when you look at some of these leaves, guys, they're all different. I love a silver Hoya. I'm a sucker for that. So yeah, that is her. Excited about it, excited about it. And then next up is gonna come to those of you that have been here. It's no surprise, but I have to share it with you because she has absolutely gotten crazy over the last couple months, probably since the last time I've shown her. And this is my red rhipsalis. I love rhipsalis, you guys. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. And the reason that I love them so much is because I think personally they look so beautiful, draping over pots, just kind of growing sort of chaotic. I know this isn't for everyone. I get it. But I think it is so beautiful. So I put this in, when I repotted it, I put it in this beautiful pot that John got me. I don't remember where, but he got me this pot. And I thought the reds in the pot would tie in really beautiful with the little red tips of the rhipsalis. And so what's different to the last time that you guys have seen it is this entire section over here where it's just taken off. And what I've noticed about this plant is it will grow upright. Okay, it'll start out like this, crazy growing upright, just going nuts. And then once it gets the petals, that weight starts to weigh it down and then it winds up draping itself. And I don't know what it is about that, but I just love that look so much. I did take some cuttings for a friend of mine here on the channel, and I'm planning on sending them to her. They're actually up here, which I'm not sure if, I think you guys can see that, but it's right here in this little pot. I plan on sending those to her because I'm pretty sure she said that she didn't have this one, and I think it's something she would enjoy, just based off of our conversations. But anyways, if you watch Unplant Parenthood here on YouTube, she has a ton of rhipsalis as well. And I love it. She gets the vibe, you know what I mean? Like she understands where I'm coming from with this weird, wild fascination with rhipsalis because, to be honest, it's a pretty basic plant. It's not considered a rare plant by any means, but it's so beautiful and so cool. And I look at this plant every day. Every single day. This one and my mistletoe cactus, I look at them every single day. They catch my eye. And ever since I repotted her, she's just really appreciated it. And she's given me a ton of growth. Even the places up here where I've made the cuts, like here she's just like, whatever, here's some new shoots. Like I cut here, she's giving me a new shoot. Pretty much everywhere I cut, she's giving me new shoots. So it was relatively easy to root. It was the first time that I had propagated this one, and I'm just loving her. I don't know where she's gonna go once she outgrows the spot that I have her in, but I'll have to find a spot because it's like I said, it's one that I thoroughly enjoy looking at every single day. Okay, so next is my Hoya mathilde. She is heavy. All right, this is Hoya mathilde, and guys, she is just so happy. She has peduncles everywhere, which is exciting. I feel like I don't see signs that they're wanting to bloom just yet, but I'm just seeing that she is putting them out everywhere, which tells me she's happy. She does live in the same window as like my red rhipsalis, and it's another one that my eyes are drawn to every single day. I've thought about many times getting her out of the semi-hydro because to be honest, I'm kind of over semi-hydro. I found my perfect substrate. It's always linked down below if ever you're curious. But this one, to be honest, this one, she just seems so happy in here. And I've tried mathilde in soil, and it's very difficult for me personally to get them started into soil. Like I've tried, I actually I had a mathilde splash, very splashy, that I got off the same friend. I still have it. I think it's going to bounce back, but I tried getting it also because she had it in semi-hydro, out of semi-hydro and into soil, and it did all right. The cuttings did all right when they were in moss, but once I transferred them to soil, it's just been a struggle to keep it happy. So I'm hoping so much that I can get that one going again because it's truly such a beautiful Hoya, and it's just one of those moments where you're like, dang, I took a risk, and sometimes it just doesn't pay off, you know? Sometimes it's the opposite, and I'm hoping that I can get it to come back. But this one is just so happy. I just cannot see myself taking her out of this vessel. She's been in here forever, and to be honest, I do quite love it in this vessel. I think it's really beautiful in this sort of mason style jar just draping over. This is one of those scenarios where I prefer the Hoya as is, doing its thing, untrellised. I think it is just so beautiful and quite whimsical, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I just wanted to share her with you because she's really taken off, and I'm excited about all of these peduncles. I'm hoping in the spring that she's gonna bloom like crazy and the house will smell good. But yeah, I just wanted to share her. She's got tendrils coming up everywhere. They're growing like crazy, and I have taken some props of her. I definitely have, and every time I propagate, it's a 50-50 chance whether or not once I transfer them into soil that it works out, because I bring them to my local plant swaps. So it's just one of those things where sometimes I get lucky and sometimes I don't, but she's definitely happy. You can definitely tell where she's growing, like this has grown past, it's like onto the wall where it's no longer getting light because it's pretty stretched out in between leaves, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I think it is beautiful because you can see the jar, you know? So anyways, just my thoughts behind the whole thing. But I know, just a Hoya mathilde, nothing fancy, but she is one of my favorites in general, and I really can't imagine my collection without her. I love her so much. So that is Hoya mathilde. And then next, in a similar note to that whole draping, another way that I really love to style my plants is in a pitcher, and then allowing the plant to drape over the pitcher, like as if you're pouring out a plant. So this is my Peperomia stilts, and I got her from Blue Moon back in April as just a tiny little babe, as a little start. And, you know, she's grown quite a bit since then. I do have her growing on top of my Vitstro shelf, just sort of draping down, and I think it's quite beautiful. You can sort of see where she's chasing the light, those little swoop ups. And I don't know, there's just something about Peperomia, guys, that I really love. I seem to do pretty well with them overall. There's been a couple instances where it's sort of fizzled. For example, I had a Peperomia Hope at one time that didn't go so well. And to be quite honest with you, people say that Peperomia Hope is common and you can get it anywhere. I struggle to find Peperomia Hope because I've wanted to replace mine and I have yet to be able to find one locally, which is strange. Anyways, that is her. Another one that I'm currently having struggles with is my variegated watermelon peperomia, which makes me so sad because it is such a beautiful specimen. I also got it from Blue Moon, and I'm currently trying to rehab it. I took some cuttings off of the leaves that sort of fell off of it. None of them seem to be doing well. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I did the whole, cut the leaf in half method sort of thing. And I did this not so long ago. But I'm already starting to see some of the leaves brown out. And I'm just hoping that I get even a couple out of it would be nice because I would love to be able to restart it. But yeah, that's her looking so cute in her little picture. And she seems to be really happy. So there's new growth all the time, new little shoots coming up here, which is exciting. That gives me hope that maybe we'll be able to fill out this jar a little bit. I did play around with propagating this, and I did have luck propagating in water. So I've thought about taking a couple more cuts and just trying to add them back in, but it's, again, one of those things. Are they going to make it once I put them in soil, or is it just going to fizzle out? I do find that I have good luck growing peperomia in just straight water. So that's another thing, but this one seems to like the soil. She seems to be really happy, and I've just been enjoying watching her kind of do her thing, just be wild and a little unruly. I quite love that look. All right, moving into an Anthurium. I don't think I've shown you an Anthurium yet, which is kind of wild, but we are going to kick it off, because I do have some Anthuriums on this list today, with my podophyllum. This is Anthurium podophyllum. I got this back in October of 24, so I've had her almost a year now, and I will say this one was slow to start. Now, I did get this as just a tiny little plug, tiny little start, so how much growth can you expect, I guess, but I find with Anthurium that it doesn't take them long. It doesn't take them long, at least in my experience. Like I've started many Anthurium as just little babies, seedlings even, and I would say in 6 months I see more growth than I did off this guy. However, one thing I do notice is the Anthuriums that are like a waxy leaf, they do tend to be a little bit on the slower side. But what's exciting is this has pupped out for me. I think there's now 1, 2, 3. I have 3 plants growing in this pot now. So she's been working hard. She may not give me a ton of leaves off of the main stalk, but she's definitely been giving me little babies, so I could definitely separate her if I wanted to. But this is her most recent leaf, and this is when I started to get really excited, guys, because it's really starting to look like a podophyllum. And I'm hoping at some point I can play around with breeding. That's why I got her to begin with, is because I think she could make some really cool hybrids with these awesome leaves. I just think she's so beautiful. I love an Anthurium that has this style leaf, fingers, clavigerum, all of them. I think it's beautiful. It's very jungly. And so, yeah, she had been growing in this cabinet behind me. Once I moved her in there, I really started to see some radical growth. But she's kind of outgrowing that space. If I'm being honest, this leaf was starting to bleach because it was it was past the light. So I moved her, and I'm hoping that she likes it all right, because it's definitely lower light where I moved her to, but I'm hoping that it'll stop the bleaching and those leaves will darken up. She could stand for a repot. Let's see if you guys can see some of those roots in that pot. I'm not sure how much you'll be able to see of that, but she does have some beautiful, thick, juicy roots in there. And like I said, when I repot her, I will probably split off at least one of those little babies because I don't need them all, and maybe try to sell one or swap one out at the plant swap. But I'm elated. I'm elated that we're finally here. I feel like I have a nice plant now versus just like a little tiny sprig. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted as to where that goes. All right, next is a new addition. I am so elated. I've never tried this plant before, so we'll see how it goes. But this is a Pilea, all right? So this is known as what, the money plant? This is Pilea, but what makes this one special is this is a mojito Pilea. So she has all that beautiful color, that splashiness. And I am so excited about this. So far, so good. She's giving me a couple new leaves I can see down there. And I haven't done anything with her. I haven't repotted, nothing. It's not my nature to not repot. Typically, I do repot relatively soon after bringing the plant home, but I wanted to allow her to establish herself in this environment really well because I know the roots are going to be very delicate and spindly. So I'm just trying to let her acclimate, let her get comfortable here. How cool is she though, guys? I got her from Blue Moon. Haley gifted this to me, which was so kind and generous. I do think she still has a few left. It's not one that I had ever seen before. I was like, oh, what is that? And she told me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love. So yeah, she gifted her to me, and I'm just trying to do my best. I told her I was very nervous about this because I didn't want to like, unalive the plant, but so far so good. She's doing all right. So this leaf is extraordinary. It's extraordinary. So if you're interested, check out the Blue Moon website. We do go live on Palm Street every Wednesday at 12 noon. She's also, that's Eastern time, she's also been doing some lives on Friday mornings. I'm not sure the exact time, but I know it's been in the morning. So if you're ever interested in checking out, like I said, a lot of my plants come from Blue Moon. So if you're interested, check us out on Palm Street. But she did just do like 150 plant update on the website, and there's always better deals on the website because there's a percentage that Palm Street takes and things like that, so you kind of have to account for that. So yeah, check out the website, guys. Check it out. All right, and then the last one in this little batch before I have to grab the next batch is this one here. So this is my variegated Hoya wayetti, which I have in this terracotta. And this is a whole nother story. So I got this as a huge basket, right, at a big box store. And boy, did it not like coming here because it fizzled out. And I mean, it fizzled out quick. So when all of that was happening, I've had this plant for a long time, you guys, a long time. One of my oldest Hoyas, if I'm being honest. I've probably had this for, probably going on 3 years now. But I ended up chopping it all up. I took as many pieces that were viable that I could, and I restarted them. This took forever to restart. Forever, okay? I've heard that this Hoya is a little slower to grow. I don't know how true that is. I know that once she was established in this pot and happy, she's been growing nonstop, but it's still not as quick as some of my others. So maybe that is true. This is my first experience with wayetti. I did also have at one point the non-variegated one. I think I still have maybe a cutting or two left of that. I'm not even sure. I may have actually swapped it at the plant swap because I felt like I didn't need both, and I really love the variegated one. So anyways, as this has been growing out and establishing itself, I think this is such a beautiful Hoya. Like, I know it's a common one. I know you can get it at big box, but it is so beautiful to me. Those elongated leaves, the way that it drapes over the pot, the way that it looks up against this terracotta. Like, I could go on and on and on all day about it. I think she's so charming. I think she's so charming. I love her variegation. I feel like I got a pretty good specimen and I got lucky. Maybe it was all of the cuts that I had to take and I don't know, but beautiful. And as the leaves grow and I get these really long ones like this one here, I'm like, wow, I can't even imagine like a whole pot of this with those big long leaves. How beautiful would that be? I also love how she sun stresses that beautiful pink, that blushy pink. So pretty, guys. I could look at her all day. She seems to really like the spot that I have her in. So I've just been letting her do her thing. I don't dare to repot her. She will live in this pot for as long as she can take it. I did recently have an issue with mealybugs on her, which was so weird because I don't have issues with mealybugs, guys. Like, I am fortunate in that regard. I have issues typically with spider mites. So I was kind of like, where did these even come from? Seriously, where do mealybugs come from? Like, nothing new was introduced to that area. I have no idea where they came from. Just out of the blue, they were there. So weird. Anyway, I've been spraying her down. I've been treating her, and so far so good. I don't think she has any currently. There are some spots on here. I actually sprayed her down again today because I was like, well, I have her down, I might as well. I don't see any active mealies right now. I do see some spotting where the mealies had their lunch and sort of snacked on the leaves and it left a mark. But yeah, I'm just elated with her. I think she's beautiful. I don't know. I love her. Okay, guys, next I have a couple anthuriums to share with you. The first one is my Zara. These girls are getting pretty big, so they're quite heavy. But yeah, first up is Zara. So the reason she is in my favorites this month is because she's finally given me a new leaf. I'm so curious to know, like in your guys' experience, is this Anthurium a slower Anthurium to grow for you? Like, I don't know. For me, she definitely doesn't grow nearly as fast as, say, like my Michelle or just several of my Anthuriums. So I don't know if that's just like a Zara thing or what, but my, is this such a beautiful Anthurium. I love her so much. I'm gonna show you her new leaf she's putting out. I was so excited to see it, and it looks like she's also gonna give me her first flower, which is also exciting because the whole reason that I got her was in hopes of one day being able to breed with her. Now, when I did get her, I don't have a date, but it was a long time ago now. Gosh, it's been probably a couple years ago. She was a tiny little seedling, tiny little baby. And I remember paying 25 bucks for this little tiny seedling and thinking, oh gosh, I hope this goes well. Because I was at the time relatively new to Anthurium, and I didn't know what I was doing, to be quite honest. I was just hoping for the best. And, you know, for me at that time, 25 bucks was a lot of money for just like a tiny little seedling that may or may not make it. So I'm proud to say that here we are doing well. I did just trim her up a little bit because a couple of her leaves were a little crunchy, but guys, it is pure magic. When she puts out a leaf, it is pure magic. I mean, look at that. Look at that leaf. So yeah, I'm curious to see how much this is going to expand. It's still very soft and delicate, so we're gonna be super careful with her. And yeah, you know, if she starts to flower, I'm hoping I'll be able to get some babies and breed with her. I have no idea who I'll breed with her, but I just wanna breed with her because I don't even think it matters. I think she's just gonna make a beautiful batch of seedlings. So yeah, I did recently move her into a different spot, which that produced this new leaf. So maybe that has something to do with it. I kind of am curious to see if she has roots coming out of this pot. I don't see any signs of roots, so that's good. That means, you know, I don't need to repot her. But yeah, anyway, she's doing really well. She's getting really big. I don't feel like I've shown her in a while, so I wanted to share her with you. And I will keep you guys posted if I get to breed with her anytime soon. I also don't see any signs of spider mites on this new leaf, which is exciting because my last leaf did have a little bit of spider mite damage. These spider mites, guys, I feel like no matter how much I spray, no matter what I do, they are always around. I hate them. And they're always chomping at my fresh Anthurium leaves. I need to top her off with a little bit more moss, I think. I will do that before I put her away because I can kind of see the main stem wobbling a little bit, and those roots love to touch moss. All right, and then the next one, this girl here that you probably see already, this is my SKG Crystal Silver cross with Besseae Af. Now, this is the only Bess that I have in my collection. And I swear, seeing some of the Besseae crosses that we have at the greenhouse, I could have 100 Besseaes. If I had the space, you guys, I would definitely have a few more Bess crosses because I think Besseae is one of the most beautiful Anthurium out there. I think it makes an amazing parent. And what I love about Bess is it tends to stay short like this. Like the petioles seem to stay relatively short, and it tends to pup out like crazy. I actually, when I repotted this last time, it wasn't that long ago, I separated the pups that I had off of this plant, and I sold, I think I've sold all of them off, but it's already pupped out again. Like there are 3 different plants growing in this pot. And while that seems amazing, like, oh my gosh, it just keeps it like so full and bushy, that's the problem because when the leaves are trying to expand, they get kind of tangled up in one another. So it causes damage to the leaves. But that is quite a leaf right there, if I don't say so myself. And I'll just give her a little bit of a spin. She has a new leaf right there. It's still pretty soft. So yeah, I've just been loving her so much. I did move her out of the cabinet. She has been growing in this cabinet behind me for her entire existence, I'm pretty sure. And she's just outgrown the space. Now, when I separate her, there's a chance that I could put her back in there, but she seems to be acclimating just fine to ambient. So I'm just gonna go with the punches, leave her in ambient, and enjoy looking at her while I'm sitting on the couch. I do need to give her a little bit of a trim up because some of these lower leaves are a little crunchy. But yeah, I mean, she could honestly probably stand to be, yeah, I see roots at the bottom of the pot, so she could stand to be repotted again. And as I say, when I repot her, I will definitely separate. She's always flowering too. That's another thing. She's always giving me flowers. So she has a nice little sticky inflow here. And I should, if I can find some pollen, I'll try to breed her. Why not? I don't think, yeah, no, she's never been a mom. She's never been a mom. So I could, in theory, breed her and see what kind of awesome babies we could get. I currently have a cabinet, guys, not a cabinet, a tent full of seedlings that I'm gonna have to figure out how to part with soon because the whole tent is full. And I have 2 more boxes, like prop boxes of seedlings coming. So I have in total 4 different hybrids in the tent that I need to figure out. And then next up is this little orchid. So I picked up an orchid, I think it was Lowe's, was doing a sale on all of their orchids. They were 20 bucks, I believe. And I picked this one up. I will have the name listed on the screen because it didn't have a tag. But the fragrance on this orchid, you guys, is so good. Okay, like it's giving like chocolate vanilla. I don't know. It's like a chocolate vanilla. Ugh, I will be sad when this spike eventually, you know, dies off. But in the meantime, I'm just enjoying it. I know it's not a forever thing. When I picked this up, the foliage was a little on the yellow side. I felt like it needed some nutrients, so I went ahead and watered it and fed it. Once the spike fizzles out, I think I'm going to repot her. I have not had the best of luck with orchids in the past, so I am very nervous by her, but in my research, it said that this was a relatively easy orchid to grow. So I know with orchids, less is more, you know, don't baby them too much, just kind of let them do their thing. But I have a actual orchid pot and I also have an orchid basket, and I kind of want to experiment with possibly growing it in that basket. So I'm just gonna let this sort of play out for the time being and then kind of experiment with it a little bit. If I can keep her happy, I have a feeling that I may wind up down the orchid rabbit hole, which I really have no space for, but I have been really drawn to orchids recently. Blue Moon has the cutest little micro orchids right now, and every time I see them, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I would love to put one on the pegboard in my Mills Botal or even back here. But again, I feel like I need to explore with this one a little bit more, and hopefully, I do feel like she's already looking greener, which is good. That's a good sign. But I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Okay guys, next up is my big girl, Radlux. I don't even know if we can get her entirely in the frame. She is massive. Okay, so what's interesting about her is she also has one of the few alocasias that seem to like me. It looks like there's two different varieties in here, actually. There is somehow, and I don't even know how this happened, you guys. We have Alocasia aslanii and Alocasia dragon's breath growing in here somehow. We don't know, but they're here. And it's funny because it's the only way that I seem to be able to keep Alocasia happy. I feel like if I were to take this Alocasia and pull it out of this pot or separate it, it would fizzle out and eradicate itself. So yeah, that's a bonus. But anyway, I wanted to share my Radlux with you guys because she is just doing the absolute most. I think she's so beautiful. I know Radlux is like a super common Anthurium. You can literally get this guy pretty much anywhere, but I don't know, she's one of my favorites. She's giving me a new leaf, a wonky one, but a new leaf. I will say I had her in a different spot. I recently just moved her because she is outgrown that space. It's why she's so stretched out, is because she was trying to find light. So I have moved her into her own little spot, and I'll show you where that is in B-roll. And so far so good. Like, this leaf was able to expand because the leaf prior wasn't even able to emerge. It just had no room. So I know it's a bit wonky. That's okay. We accept her as is. It's still pretty soft, so we have some more hardening off to do. But another thing that I have to say I love so much about Radlux is the flower. And I know, guys, I know the flowers are, you know, useless in the grand scheme of things. Like, you from what I gather, you can't breed with this, but I don't care. I just don't even care. I think it's so beautiful. She actually has, I don't know if that's a leaf. Yeah, this looks like a new leaf coming. I was gonna say maybe a flower. Is that a flower? Maybe it's a flower. Yeah, it's a flower. I was like, how could that be coming from the leaf prior? Yeah, she has another flower coming, but she's always blooming. And I think her flowers are so pretty. I love this like sheath. I think that is so gorgeous. And it just adds another touch. I have other flowers on here that I need to cut off. So I have in total, this was the leaf that unfortunately didn't make it. And And then this is another flower. And then down here, oh, that's a sad alocasia leaf. Like I need to do some trimming, obviously. And I'm sure she could stand for either a little more moss or a repot. I definitely need to do that. I just haven't had the time, but she's so low maintenance. She's so low maintenance, and I just love her wild leaves. I love all of that texture, that juicy texture. I'll try to get some B-roll because I know this is a little chaotic right here as she's like taking up the entire frame in her glory. But I don't know, I'm just really enjoying her in her new spot. It's enabled me to really appreciate her more. And I've had her for such a long time. Like we go way back. She's taught me a lot about anthuriums, and I actually got her from Blue Moon many moons ago, pun intended. Gosh, I've probably had her going on maybe 3 years, so it's been a while. She was one of my first Anthurium, and I just feel so lucky to have her. I love her so much. I think she's so beautiful. And yeah, I just wanted to share her with you. Okay guys, last two on the list are Hoyas, and the first one is my Hoya Coriacea Silver. Gosh, I could go on about this all day. I feel so lucky to have this plant. It brings me so much joy. I feel lucky because back in January, I think it was either December or January, I will try to link it down below if I remember to in editing. I did a wish list video. And it was my wish list plans for the year. And I mentioned that I was going to be a bit more strategic about my plant purchasing this year, that I was going to really take my time and decide if that plant really brings me joy. Do I want to bring it into my collection or not? Because I was so pressed for space. And so this was one of the plants that I just was like, oh, I think I saw a picture somewhere on Instagram, and I immediately felt like, yes, 100%, yes, I need it. So I love the foliage. These leaves are so beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And there's a bit of a story behind this one because this actually, so again, the same friend of mine that sold me the Nova Ghost and the Mathilde Splash, she sold me this, but what's interesting is this plant, when she sold it, it was like huge. It had wrapped around this same trellis, growing like crazy. She had it in semi-hydro, and Haley and I, it was at the plant swap, and Haley and I, she wanted $100 for it, which for the amount of Hoya that it had was, I kind of feel like a steal of a deal, because when you look this plant up, it's pretty pricey on Palm Street. Like even just like a 2-leaf cutting goes for pretty good money. So I felt like $100 was more than fair, but it was like a lot of money for me at the time. So Haley and I, I was like trying to talk her into doing more Hoyas because I feel like everyone loves Hoyas. I mean, I know, well, actually I can't say that. There are some people that really do not like Hoya, but there are a lot of people that love Hoya. And so she was like, you know what? All right, let's split custody of it. And I was like, perfect. So we split it down the middle, and I cut it right there at the swap. I went and I cut it. I gave Haley her pieces and I took my pieces home. When I got them here, I decided I didn't want to grow it into semi-hydro. I wanted it in my substrate that I love, which is pro-mix soil. And so I chopped it, but I didn't chop all the way. Like these leaves are original leaves down here at the bottom. And I went ahead and put it into soil. And that was also a risk. It was also a risk transferring it. But this plant has done nothing but grow, you guys. Grow, 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 grow. She is so happy. I wish it were a little bit more like filled out, but with a lot of my Hoyas, they're a work in progress. Like I will start out with something small and I just keep cutting it and chopping and propping and rooting and replacing and doing all of the things to get a full basket. And so this is one that I'm more than willing and happy to take the time to make a big, beautiful, lush pot. Now this is one I've noticed definitely grows right upright. It does love its trellis, so she's one we have to keep trellis, but the foliage, like this is just such a good specimen. I am so excited to have it. And yeah, I plan on making this a full pot. I plan on adding at least a couple more vines to this pot to like really fill it out. But I can see growth points, like there's a growth point coming in right here. Maybe I'll get one down here also, who knows? And then the main stem is growing beautifully. So yeah, we'll see where this goes with time. But I just wanted to share this with you because I got this back in April. So not that long ago in the grand scheme of things, and my has it just grown like a weed. And to have also changed up its substrate, I just think it's miraculous, and I'm just so thrilled. I could look at her all day long. I do keep her in my Millsbow tall. I do plan on eventually transferring her into ambient conditions, but I feel like she loves it in there so much that I would like to see her grow a bit more and have a little bit more vine to work with. And that way I can, you know, propagate her sooner than later. And then last but not least, which really I feel like this should have been my first on the list. This is my Hoya pachyclada, my variegated pachyclada. This is from Blue Moon. And, oh my gosh, guys, I just think she is so beautiful. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching her grow and come into her own. I will say there was a learning curve with this Hoya. When I first brought it home and repotted it into this pot, it did not go so well. And sometimes that happens with me with Hoya. They either bounce back with no issue at all, or they completely freak out and I end up having to chop them up and propagate. So this one, I didn't have to chop it up, but I did have to quickly determine what it was that was making her freak out. Now, I do think part of it was just being transplanted. I don't think she liked it so much, but I think what I'm noticing is this is a thirsty Hoya. I find that Hoya tend to be thirstier than people give them credit for, but this one, really thirsty. So I started watering her really heavily and more frequently. And once I started to do that, I noticed the bounce back. Now, what's exciting is not only is she really starting to come into her own, like look at this branch. Wow. She's starting to give me the most amazing peduncle. There's 2 of them. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she is gonna bloom for me, which is so exciting, you guys. I have seen the blooms on pachyclada and they are beautiful. So I can't wait for that. There are so many things to love about this Hoya, and I find it interesting because not many people talk about pachyclada. I never see this Hoya really talked about, at least in my journey on YouTube. So if you love Hoya and you don't have this one, I highly recommend it. It is absolutely stunning. Blue Moon does have some, and hers are, I mean, they're beautiful. The variegation is 10 out of 10. There is issues with reversion, so you do have to be careful with that when purchasing. Just make sure that it looks like a stable specimen. I'm not sure how much I will chop her because I feel like that's when the issues arise with reversion. So I think I'm just going to leave this one alone. It's probably not one, unless it gets absolutely huge. Maybe then I'll chop, but as of right now, I'm just leaving her be. I'm enjoying seeing this fill out so much, and I just think the foliage is so beautiful. And not only is it beautiful, but it gets these really pretty pink tips, which how beautiful is that? I think she looks gorgeous in terracotta. And yeah, I got her in October of 24. So I've had her a little while now. We've had time to kind of get to know each other. She does have some radical roots though, guys. Like these are some of the biggest Hoya roots I've ever seen. And yeah, there's a little cobweb in there. Go ahead, little spider, do your thing. Eat all the bugs. So yeah, I'm enthralled with this. I just can't get enough of it. I think she is so beautiful, and I highly recommend. I think you guys should pick one up. I think Haley sells them for 30 or 40 bucks, something like that, but they're nice. It's like a nice solid chunk, so you have plenty of plant to work with. It's not just like a little sprig, you know. So anyways, that's it, guys. That completes this month's houseplant, or not houseplant tour, favorites video. I'm so grateful to you guys for being here month after month, week after week. I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed. I know it's a longer video. Mine tend to be longer. We know that. I kind of have a habit of rambling, but I don't know. I just love it here. I love it here so much, and I just feel like I can geek out on plants with other like-minded people. So that's probably part of it. But anyway, I will see you guys next week. I'm hoping to get something filmed today. If you see me in the same outfit again, just know that maybe I'll change. Who knows? But I'm going to try to get one more video filmed today because next weekend we go out of town for my birthday. So if I don't do it now, it's not going to happen. And I don't want to miss another week because this month it's just been a busy summer, guys. It really has. So I need to get caught up on some pre-filming so that I always have something to upload. That's something I've been struggling with. But anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you next week. Bye.